Yeah. Jump, 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 jump. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Jump, 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 jump. Drip, 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 drip. Flowing water, no ice. I don't never check the price. I've been living real nice. Gamble on me with the dice. Drip, 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 drip. Flowing water, no ice. I don't never check the price. I've been living real nice. Gamble on me with the dice. I get the bag and maneuver. I've been the maneuver. Riding around in your town and I promise I never whip, I'm in the Uber. Ice in my vein like a jeweler. Talking that bush and medulla. Drive me through mud, but I promise I make it. I told them I came from the sewer. Never been one for the rumors. Ballin' out like I'm a sooner. But when I fire a Kuma, hitting your heart like a tumor. First time I listened to Weezy, I felt like a Martian, ain't talking no Luna. Only gon' focus on money if it ain't about it, I ain't with the humor. Never time for the lip, every song drop, yeah, you know it real. Gotta watch what you say, run the wrong crowd, you can get clear. Know the boy when the shit, yeah. Do my dance to the whip. Stack on him, got a grip. Back on him with the drip. Drip, 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 drip. Flowing water, no ice. I don't never check the price. I've been living real nice. Gamble on me with the dice. Drip, 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 drip. Flowing water, no ice. I don't never check the price. I've been living real nice. Gamble on me with the dice. Yeah, everything on go mode. Me and my dogs on front line. 3 dubs like Kenny said, I'm in Hollywood for the sunshine. Strict rules when you round us, ain't no funny biz like a punchline. First year did a $250,000 on the spins and I'm still unsigned. Tight gears, how the boy grind. Straight dimes, I don't do nines. No pen, how I do rhymes. As you deaf boy, I don't do signs. No weight, I don't do lines. Give me 2 years, then I'm gon' shine. Big stakes, how the boy down. When I drop rhymes, then I blow mines. Everything on my time. New breed on my own kind. Can't get what you can't see. Keep the vision clear, I don't go blind. Realer one, yeah, you won't find. Hate on me, yeah, I don't mind. Never needed no cosign. Put the whole game on my whole spine. Drip, 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 drip. Flowing water, no ice. I don't never check the price. I've been living real nice. Gamble on me with the dice. Drip, 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 drip. Flowing water, no ice. I don't never check the price. I've been living real nice. Gamble on me with the dice.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's tier list stream. As you can see, there are 50% more people than usual. We have Ben and I, as always. And Ben, would you like to introduce today's guest?
Yes, I would. This is Eric of D-Line Co. Eric helps design the merchandise, sports apparel, logos, designs for DMVR, Denver-based for the most part with his shirt designs, and really cool stuff, guys. I've known Eric for a while now, so you guys got to check out his stuff. Really cool designs for Avs, Broncos, Nuggets, and Rockies, of course.
Everybody, yeah, all Denver teams.
Yeah, all the Denver teams. Anything else I missed on your intro?
No, that was the absolute perfect intro. I've never been introduced any better. I'm flummoxed. I don't even know what to do with myself.
It's good. And most importantly for today, obviously working in the design industry with sports apparel, what person is possibly more qualified to put us in our place on this tier list?
Yeah, I feel like I'm absolutely here to be essentially like a school marm, like a teacher to just.
Yeah, I've got my notepad over here on the side. I'm ready to take some notes. You're gonna tell us what's right and wrong with these.
I can't wait to do it.
Please get technical too, because that's.
I will. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I am here for the nitpicking.
Cool.
All right, so. Here is how the tier list is going to work. So as you can see, we have 5 tiers. We have an S tier, an A, B, and C tier, and a burn it tier. So S tier are the top of the line uniforms. A tier are like the next best uniforms, going all the way down to C, and then the ones that Nike needs to get their shit together and redesign, those are going to be the ones that we throw into the burn it tier. If you own any of the jerseys, we're giving you some advice. You should burn them. Also, I see we got Larry in the chat. What's up, Larry? I see you showed up on time for the first time in a long time. Appreciate that. Eric, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, like, even if you enjoy the team, even if it's a team you grew up with, they mean something to you emotionally, your father went to the games, and you have a strong emotional bond, you still have to burn those jerseys because they don't look right. That is the message.
Yeah, and I know that we're all committed to being as unbiased as possible when it comes to this. Isn't that right, guys?
Absolutely. I mean, this is when you're talking aesthetics, this is the one thing where there is a right answer and there's a wrong answer and there's no argument.
Okay, well, I think I can at least attest to the fact that the no argument part of that is not going to be the case.
Right.
Regardless of whether we're right or wrong, we're still going to argue. So we're going through the 32 teams in alphabetical order for everybody following along at home. I have this set up so that we have the tier list on one screen, and then I can click this button over here, and we have these nice little previews of all of the team's uniforms on the other screen. So we're going to look at these. We have a home uniform, an away uniform, and an alternate uniform. We're going to consider the whole thing head to toe, not each of them individually, the whole team's ensemble as a collective unit. Place them on their tier, and move on to the next one. So starting off with the Arizona Cardinals. So I think that we might be starting this off on the wrong foot as far as uniform design is concerned. So
like
Eric,
the black one.
Yeah, so the black one looks nice. I know that a lot of the players on this team are quite outspoken about how ugly they think the uniforms are.
Oh man, I didn't know that. That is damning. That is damning. The thing that in general that this team has going for it is that they're not going for too much. They're not trying to be too extra, with the exception of the white jersey with the red going up and down the side. I believe that's the away jersey. That I don't care for at all. I really don't like how the panel on the side that goes down from the side of the jersey into the pants turns into a sharp little point at the knee. I don't really care for that at all. The red with the white combination on just their standard home jersey is like pretty nice. It's like fine. It's like classic. There's not a lot to really quarrel with, but I don't know. Something about white helmets I'm not a big fan of. It feels
Eric,
like a
it was
default.
almost like a really popular thing, that stripe that you were mentioning that kind of coils into that. Like back in like 2013, I feel like there was a bunch of that going on, and then it was just kind of like and then a lot of teams went away with it. not the Cardinals though.
Yeah, like one of my main tenets when it comes to just talking about uniform design in general is that if you are employing something that is making you a prisoner of the moment, like a trend that's cool at the time but really has no chance to stand the test of time and is going to be something that ultimately goes away, that's not like a really classic uniform design, then you're doing your team a disservice, because then you're going to have to redo your uniforms, and then they seem cheaper, they seem less authentic. It's like it never really works out, even if it looks good right when it comes out. It's like just always a bad plan. So you're right, like that was popular. If you're able to tell like definitively the time when that was designed, like that's a bad thing.
That's a good point. So Nick, what are we thinking, guys, and Eric? I'm thinking like C, B, C-ish. Right?
Yeah. These are like fine. They're
yeah,
like,
I think
whatever.
I think it's a C tier uniform. I think if we were to put it in the B tier, when we come back around and reconsider it at the end, we would think it was too high.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the C tier. So here we are. We have different pictures.
Like black though. The black for me.
Yeah, the black is what I think saves it from being a burn it.
Yeah.
I don't even like, black is definitely part of their color scheme, but to me it feels like really forced.
Yeah, but
What about
that's the
Cardinal
thing, though,
is
right?
black?
So male or the female Cardinals are black.
Oh, so that's for the WNFL team, they should make them.
But Nick, is that
Exactly.
why they did it though, or is that?
No, that's probably not why they did it. And I think it's a telling thing, right? That the new jersey that they have, the alternate that doesn't fit with the color scheme at all, is the nicest one.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think that's a bad thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, like to me, it just feels forced. It's like doesn't have really anything to do with the theme of the squad. It just is like, oh, you know what's cool? Black. Like every team in the league can come out with a black uniform at a certain point. It's like,
and there's
just the same way every team can have a white uniform.
Yeah, and there's nothing really Cardinals about it, like you were saying. And they even, as you can see on the side of Larry Fitzgerald, they still have that same kind of swoopy, coming to a point thing on the jersey, even though they lose some of the other aesthetic aspects of that.
Yeah, not tough. I'm not.
Yeah, it's dainty.
It is quite dainty. It's a C tier if I've ever seen.
All right. So next up, we have another bird, the Atlanta Falcons. So the Falcons did a redesign before last year, and this is what we've got. So we have I think this is a pretty great direct comparison here between these two teams. So we have two birds, we have a cardinal and a falcon. We have two teams with the same color scheme. So the Falcons obviously incorporating a little bit more black, but still we have that red and the white with the black as a third color. So just overall, how do these look? And as a comparison to the Cardinals unis, how do they compare?
So this is a example of a new design in the NFL. This is very modern. This is very slick. This feels like very video game inspired. This feels like very techy, like the font.
Yeah, it feels like if you're messing around in Madden for an hour, making your custom team, this is a uniform that you could make.
Yes, and which, if this was for Madden, I think I would give it a higher score, but I think you have to take into context and you have to take into consideration the league for which each one of these is designed, and the NFL is a rich historic league with a lot of history, and it's got a lot of sort of aesthetic, I would say, it's got sort of its own trademark and its own look, and this sort of breaks out of that mold, and I don't think that's a good thing. I think this is going to be another one of these. While I wouldn't, if I just saw this and this was for a rugby league in Australia, I'd be like, oh, these are pretty slick, these are pretty cool. But like the fact that they made them for the NFL, it's like not the right direction for an NFL uniform, in my opinion. Like this is a type of design which is too hip and too slick, and is ultimately going to end up being another prisoner of the moment. Like I feel like they're just trying too hard.
Good point.
But like I said, I mean, it's not a hideous uniform. It's not difficult to look at, and frankly, when I saw them on the field, I thought they looked like pretty good, honestly. But I just can't. They just didn't take the entire assignment into consideration, which was, there's like, if you're designing for Major League Baseball, like you design a certain type of logo. Like if you're designing for the NFL, like it should look like other uniforms in the NFL. So to me, this is like, again, there are definitely sins that have been committed, in my opinion, but at least they did it artfully. So to me, this is like B or C tier also.
I was gonna say B, Nick.
Yeah, I was leaning in that B to C tier. I think as a comparison to the Cardinals, it does feel like it's a tier above. So I think just the fact that we put the Cardinals in the C tier should put this up to the B tier. Again, we can come back and reconsider this at the end. But again, like there's nothing special about them. It's very blocky, and I think that's kind of what's hip and cool right now. But at the same time, it doesn't jump out at me at all. Even as a modern aesthetic, it still doesn't seem great, let alone is it going to stand the test of time. So I'm happy with a B tier. I'd also be happy if we feel obliged to come back and bump this down to a C later on.
Yeah. let's do that. And if we come back around and we find some other ones that are in the same, we can put the birds in the C's.
All right. So next up, we have, speaking of birds, this is unintentional. We are not going by logo type. We are going by city name alphabetically. But we have the Baltimore Ravens coming up, and T. Cherry says, "I'm watching tonight to validate my personal opinions." Well, hopefully you have come to the right place.
Well said.
And if you have personal opinions that differ from ours, let us know so we can tell you that you're wrong.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So Baltimore Ravens.
So
I'm
Baltimore
biased.
Ravens,
I'm wearing a Ravens shirt right now. I'm gonna let you guys take the wheel here.
So black and purple. This is purple. Obviously, is a regal color. It's the color of kings. Baltimore Ravens. I find their logo, your logo, to be a little bit too 90s. For my taste, it's a lot like the Denver Broncos in that way. Like it was clearly created around the same time. It has a lot of sharp angles and too many details, in my opinion.
Ben went from like neutral face to smiley face to frowny face in the span of about half a second there. When you called out the Ravens, and then he was like, yes. And then you called out the Broncos, and he was like, no.
To me, the numbers, they've got an outline around the numbers and a drop shadow, which is just too many things. I feel like you need to pick one or the other. The color scheme is fine. Purple, black, and would you say that's gold, or what do you guys say?
I think it's a gold.
Yeah.
Okay. Like it's to me it's a B also. Like I think it's fine. It's not ugly to look at. It's a little bit overdone for my taste. There's a little too many details, like there's a bee or something on the pants, like the crest that's on the shoulder pad, which I know that everyone in that area is absolutely in love with the flag, so we need to put it on absolutely everything. Colorado the same way. It's a little complicated. So to me, it's like, again, this is like fine.
So the chat is saying that this is bottom of the barrel so far compared to the three that we've seen.
Yeah.
So Ben, what is your opinion on this?
Yeah, I've never been a fan of the stripe that doesn't lead into anything.
But you also weren't a fan of the stripe on the Cardinals jersey that did lead into something.
I'm a big stripe guy, and it's not working here. So I don't know. It just the black and purple combo, black jersey. I'm not a fan of. I say C.
Yeah, I could ride with C.
So if I'm being honest, I'm actually not going to try and argue you guys off of that. I, of course, am a big Ravens fan, but I don't think that there's really anything special about the jersey.
Larry says, I would not feel connected as a fan. That's
Larry, you're like a Giants fan or something?
It's hilarious.
Your team?
All right, Nick.
Yeah.
C.
Okay. So we can put this into a C. If it was just me doing this, I probably would have put it into a B, but I'll take my one grade deduction for, you're a Cowboys fan. Your teams make no sense. Aren't you like a Sixers fan also? Larry, give us your complete list of teams. Please. We can do a Larry's teams tier list.
Eric, aren't those the worst
later on.
Like, yeah, I'm a Lakers fan. I also like the Blues, and I like the Yankees.
Yeah,
like,
just what are the 4 teams that won most recently? I've been a big Bucks fan for a while.
Oh, the best.
Yeah.
Not the Cowboys, though.
Yeah,
all right, so let me see. So like I assume there's another bird next. Are we doing looking at the Eagles? What's
no,
next?
we are looking at another animal next, but certainly not one that has wings, unless you are buying wings at Buffalo Wild Wings. We have the Buffalo Bills coming up. That was
doing a backflip on the table. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was pretty fantastic.
That was a nice little
segue.
transition there.
What a segue.
I try my best.
Buffalo wings. Wow. So Buffalo represents one of the most classic of all jerseys. Our color scheme is red, white, and blue. They use classic block numerals, with just one outline. They're not really doing. I mean, the one exception. It's tough to take these color rush uniforms into consideration, like this all red. I mean, I don't really view that as an actual part of the Bills uniform offering. But I mean, the thing that, like, if a uniform is successful if it just looks like it's been around forever. And this looks like Thurman Thomas. This looks like Don Beebe. This looks like Jim Kelly. Like these things don't change. And the most classic and most successful uniforms, in my opinion, are the ones that never ever change. It's like Alabama. Football looks exactly the same as it always has, as it always will, because it just works. Like these are super duper classic. I don't love them. Like I'm not inspired. Like if I was just picking a team based off of their uniform and I was an alien that dropped down onto Earth, I don't know that I would be drawn towards these necessarily. But there is something to be said about the fact that they don't even ever consider changing them. So for that reason, I think this is high B or low A.
That's like exactly where I was thinking about this. Like the high B, low A tier. I think it definitely feels objectively better than the Falcons uniform to me.
Yeah. Yeah, this feels like football. This feels like a football uniform in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills had those weird uniforms, I think around like 2007 when Marshawn Lynch was playing there, where they added in like the dark blue, and they were just terrible. So I'm glad they reverted back to these, and I would say like B, A range. I'm happy with either.
Yeah, so we have a lot of indecisiveness between B and A. So if we're thinking forward, does this feel like an A or a B? Because compared to the Falcons, it probably feels like it should be a tier above. But is it an A tier?
Let's say A. Let's say A. We'll say low A.
Yeah.
We will put the Buffalo Bills into the A tier for now. All right, next up, no birds, nothing related to birds.
Unreal.
We have the Carolina Panthers.
Oh my God. Birds as in seagulls and pigeons in the dump where these things belong.
Category.
Yeah.
These are burn it. These are the first burn it. These are like there's nothing I like about these. Absolutely nothing. I don't like the color. I don't like the logo. I don't like they have the pointed stripes we all hate. The only thing I like is maybe the block numerals because they're a classic inclusion on something that is just like so deeply 90s and just is really in my mind has absolutely no redeeming qualities. I can't stand these.
Yeah, and they even have Ben's stripe that leads to nothing.
Yeah,
on the pants.
Yeah, like
they have your logo on the side.
They're trying to match the shoulder or whatever, but I mean that was something that was like 80s, right? Like that was a thing. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish there. And the helmet thing too. Oh, I hate that on their helmets. I never liked that. So I'm cool with burn it.
Burn them.
Yeah, I am cool with burning this one. Also, thank you, T-Cherry, for the 5-month Twitch Prime resub. Appreciate that very, very much.
Thank you,
Best
sir.
group out would not be the same without you here.
Well, now we can't give Cherry's team a...
Well, no, now that he's given us his money, now we can criticize him all we want.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right?
I like that.
That's how that works, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, he didn't even give us like his money. It was Amazon's money.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's
So for anybody who is here and didn't know, if you have an Amazon Prime account, I do this like once every 5 streams now, but you can link your Amazon Prime account and your Twitch account and subscribe for free to a channel on Twitch every month. I threw a link for how to do that down in the chat. Feel free to check that out if you have that Prime sub available. Help support us for no cost to you. So we're gonna burn the Panthers uniforms
with no regrets.
With no
Team
regrets.
Hell Panthers uniforms.
I've never been I like Christian McCaffrey, but
Yeah, nothing against the Panthers as a team, and I even think that their logo is. There's nothing wrong with their logo, but we're not doing a logo tier list. We're doing a jersey tier list.
Yeah,
I think.
And for me, I hate their logo. Like to me, their logo.
I could see them being the next team that does like a revamp of like their
For sure.
colors, jersey.
I don't mind that blue as like a small accent color, but I hate it as a primary color.
Yeah.
It's not pleasing or fun to look at at all. All right, so next up,
Baby blue.
we have another classic, the Chicago Bears.
Oh, this is easy A status. What's above A? I can't see.
So
the
it's
tiers.
it's the S tier. So the S tier is like the creme de la creme,
Goated.
the cream of the crop.
This might go in S tier. This is as classic an NFL uniform as you can possibly have. Like it's dark, it's moody, it's like it feels like Chicago. They'll never touch it. It's like it just is the NFL. Like a Chicago Bears uniform looks exactly like the NFL to me.
Also, the white road jerseys with the pants look clean too as well. So I think always when you have an away jersey and uniform that looks pretty
Totally.
sexy too, that's always a plus. I would say A personally, but we can.
I'm fine with that. Although to me, it's like totally emblematic of like what works in the NFL. It's like they don't try. There's nothing too complicated. Like it's just they're not trying to wow anybody. They're not trying to impress anybody with like, look how cool and slick and forward thinking we are with our uniform designs. We're trying to represent the future and blah blah blah. It's like no, you got dark color, stripes on the shoulder, block number, simple logo. It's like and again, like I love the dark tones on this. Like these just feel mean to me. Like it feels like the Bears defense. Like this is a formidable look when you're looking across the line.
So I have a take that might be potentially a little unpopular here. But I think that out of all of the classic NFL jerseys out there, this is not my favorite. I think it's very basic, and I think that's a redeeming quality that it has in its classic context. But I think that there have been some teams recently who have success. We've seen some unsuccessful revamps, but there are some teams who have done a more modern, updated look in a tasteful way that seems like it's going to age a little better. And if you look in another 20 years, might be better than this. So
we'll see. I would be surprised. Like this one will stay the same forever.
Oh, this one will probably literally stay the same forever. I don't think they're ever going to touch it.
No, nor should they.
But yeah, I think even among some of the classics though, there are a couple better ones.
Possible. That's fine. Right? I'm fine with A.
So I'll take the A tier. If it was me, I probably controversially so would put it in the B tier, but I'm happy to get outvoted here and put it in the A tier.
Like the average.
So quick recap. We have in the A tier, the Buffalo Bills and Chicago Bears. In the B tier, the Atlanta Falcons. In the C tier, the Arizona Cardinals and Baltimore Ravens. In the Burn It tier, the Carolina Panthers. And in the S tier, we have absolutely nothing as of right now. So next up, will this be the first entry into the S tier? The only new uniforms this year. The Cincinnati Bengals
Oh,
redesign. And also, I can answer my question that I just asked. No, is the answer. This will not be the first entry into the S tier.
Okay, I'm very curious. Eric's thoughts on these.
so if we were judging the helmet and the helmet alone, I know it's like this one is like pretty divisive. I actually really like the helmet on its face, like just the helmet.
Same.
As you travel down, though, they get a little bit too thematic. They get a little. There's too many tiger stripes up and down the entire thing, on the shoulder, on the pants, and we're not seeing it here, but now don't they have the white with the black striped uniform also?
So they have a complete redesign this year. So this is what they're going to be trotting out from now on.
Okay. Well,
the one that So the one that you have that I sent you, I think doesn't have this. So gotcha. give me a second. I will post a link for you in the chat. Oh, I guess you don't.
I've got one up here. So okay, cool. We've got.
There's a lot going on with these. Someone said it makes me dizzy.
Yeah.
But maybe that's a tactical move.
Maybe that they're trying to make their opponents dizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's too much. It's just too much. It ends up going from something that's like playing close to the theme and trying to represent an actual tiger to being a little bit costumey in the way that it's going about it, like almost like you're getting a child ready to go out to go trick or treating. The white with the black stripes, I mean, I appreciate them really trying to pare it down, but keep a few little reference points. It's just too much. It's too much for me to certainly to go into the S tier. I would end up putting this into probably low B, high C range.
Yeah, I think that's where I was thinking also. I'm a big fan of the pants here. On these new uniforms. I think that with the jerseys in combination, I think that the stripes are too much. But I think if it was just like a more even more like neutered down jersey, just like solid color, block number, that the stripes like the tiger has slashed you type of deal on the side of the leg. I think that looks great. I think if that's like the only stripes that you see on the jersey, then it looks good. But I think that with what's more up on the shoulders, I think it's too much.
Yeah.
I'm saying C.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm fine with B.
Yeah, I was thinking B, but also willing to go C as well.
Yeah, I bumped it up to low B just because I do like the helmet in and of itself, but
we can go B.
Okay,
yeah. Put it last on B.
Yeah, so we'll throw it onto the low B tier for now. And again, we can come back and revisit this.
It might be a C. You might
towards
be
the
right.
end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll become clear once we've talked about all 32, and we can kind of make the comparisons. Like, oh yeah, this one feels like a B, and it's definitely better than Sin C. We can bump them down, that kind of deal.
Cool.
This is going to be a fun one.
So up next, we have the Cleveland Browns.
Ooh, interesting. The Cleveland Browns. This is like the biggest misnomer in all of sports. They're the Cleveland Browns, but their primary color, at least on their helmet, is orange. Very confusing. Very confusing. Although, if you want to talk about a classic-looking uniform, they certainly have it. There are no frills on this uniform. They have no logo. The logo is their helmet somehow. Somehow they've made brown and orange, which are two colors I would never ever pick to go together. They sort of make it work, which is pretty impressive, actually. I have to say, like, they found the right tones to make those two sort of harmonious and not as ugly as it sounds when you would describe it to somebody, which is impressive. They've got those big, thick stripes on their shoulders, which are nice, and just a very classic two-color stripe up and down the pants. This is a surprising. I think this is a surprising high B, low A for me.
Ben, what do you think?
I do like the classic feel. And they somehow pull off the brown pants, which
Yeah, they do. How do they do that? It is remarkable.
kind of weird. But
I mean, they almost don't even look brown, though. They almost look black in, like, with everything else.
yeah, I would say B. I almost like the white and black, or sorry, white jersey, brown pants the best. I think it looks good. I'll say B.
Yeah, I think that this is... I agree with Eric here, and this is what I was thinking before he said anything. I was thinking that this is like a high B, potentially low A
Yeah.
type of
I
deal.
mean, this feels like an NFL uniform.
Mm-hmm. It does. So are we going to go A or are we going to go B?
Let's go low A with the right to refactor later on as we give ourselves that each time.
All right, sounds good to me. So next up, we have the classic of all classics, the Dallas Cowboys.
The only team
boy.
that wears a white jersey at home too.
Oh, is that right?
I'm almost positive. Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know
I didn't know
that.
that.
Yeah.
I did not know that
And
either.
I don't really know what. Well, it's their main jersey at home is white, and I don't really know the history behind that.
Interesting.
Well, I think historically all teams would wear the white jerseys at home across all sports. But then within the last 10, 15, 20 years, it's been like the fans will typically buy the colored jersey because it's more interesting.
Right.
So then why not wear that one at home?
Yeah. Like
Because
you
it's
wanna
the ones
have
that the fans have on.
Yeah, that makes sense. Then you have a whole sea of orange, for example. Then you want to see orange on the field as well. I agree with that. Great move, NFL, figuring that out some time ago. So a lot of people, when you do the greatest sports logos of all time, the Dallas Cowboys ends up really high on a lot of lists very often. I don't personally agree with that, but it is, if you want to get down to the concept of truth, the concept of what like really is when you sort of strip away all of the extra and all of the artifice and all of everything that all of the things that sort of confuse the issue. And the Dallas Cowboys have the most basic logo that ever has been or ever will be. It is a star, it is a Texas star, and this has been referred to as America's team for a lot of years. People really respond to the Dallas Cowboys. They've been successful. This falls in line with the same sort of design, obviously, as the Cleveland Browns. It's the same basic structure. It's just stripes on the side of the pants, stripes on the shoulder blade. Nothing too crazy as far as like just the design is concerned, except for this new like bizarro one that they have on the right hand side, which again I'm not really even counting that as one of their actual uniforms, but just the classic blue and the classic white are, as I just said multiple times, as classic as it gets. I think that's how you introduced it. I don't personally love silver at all, and so like the look of this gets a little washed out for me. But I think that this probably is in going. I think this is a uniform that people like. Generally speaking, this is again feels very NFL. I think this is probably when you have to slot into the A range.
A for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be a little sacrilegious almost for this to not be in that upper echelon.
Yeah.
Again, it's the epitome of it's like the Yankees equivalent, I think, of
Yes.
the NFL. And for how simple the jerseys are, it's iconic for a reason, and it's because it's good. So
Yep.
it's got to be at least A tier. I agree.
Yep.
Larry, the Cowboys fan, said, "I feel like if anyone doesn't have anything good to say, they should not speak."
No.
What are you going to do to us, Larry?
We didn't. We also said good stuff.
Yeah, all of us said good stuff. I jokingly said burn it in the chat, but but that was just a joke. Or was it?
Oh.
So anyways, so next up, we have the other team that we are all fans of, the Denver Broncos. Eric, I'm assuming you're a Broncos fan.
I'm a very big Denver Broncos fan.
Okay, yeah, I figured that was a pretty safe assumption to make.
Eric,
You made
this
the
could
right
be the
assumption.
biggest take on the Broncos uniforms of all time right here.
Well, I've made this take many, many times. I feel very neutral on the Denver Broncos logo. Well, the logo I do not like. The uniforms,
I think it's actually.
feel-
I think the logo is quite similar to the Ravens in a sense.
Yeah,
I guess
this
you
is
made that comparison before, but they have that
Yes.
similar shape.
very pointy, very 90s, a lot of swooshes. See, the thing that again, like the Broncos have this line that goes down the side of their jerseys that ultimately culminates in a point on their pants, which curves around to the knee. You got the same thing on the top, like these like sort of like pointy shapes around the shoulder blade, which I believe honestly came from the fact that Nike helped design them. And when you go down into a 3-point stance, it sort of makes a swoosh on the side of the body, which I don't care for at all. I don't like the point stripe on the middle of the helmet. When I look at these, they make me feel warm and fuzzy, but not because of the aesthetics of them, but just because I love the team. I love everything about them. I love John Elway. I love Peyton Manning. But I have to be objective here. If I'm not objective, then what am I? Who am I? So for me, the Denver Broncos, I believe, is a low B, high C.
Ben, do you agree with Eric? You disagree with Eric? I see a little bit of pained grinning on your face.
No, because it's just he's honest and correct about it.
And I hate that.
Because when we look at it, I think we naturally think of like, oh, John Elway wore these.
Oh, yeah.
That's like cooked into it. But then you take a step back and kind of the analogy, the alien comes down. He's not going to be drawn to these immediately. They're not bad. I think the white jerseys are very underrated.
I think the white jersey is the best of the bunch.
Yeah, because I think the orange accents around the blue stripe really pop.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for the white jerseys, I think they, for me, give it a B.
Yeah, this is one of the jersey sets in the NFL that is like you see teams go to every now and again, which uses complementary colors, which are two colors that appear on the opposite side of the color wheel. So it is orange and blue, it is purple and yellow, and it is red and green. And nobody uses red and green because Christmas has ruined that for everybody. But you do see yellow and purple together from time to time, and orange and blue. But so they are diametrically opposed, these two colors, so that you get like good contrast between them. Orange is cool because it's like it just isn't used that often because it's like frankly kind of a difficult color to wear, and it's like not that like it really doesn't complement many people's skin or their outfits when they wear it. But there's something very cool about like that, like we've taken orange and we've made it our thing, and it like is a defiant thing almost. But just being like as objective as possible, it's like not a particularly attractive color for a human being to wear.
I wouldn't wear any orange if it weren't.
No. In fact, like every time I make an orange shirt, I'm like, oh my God, am I ever going to wear this outside of a game? Which the answer is no, but who cares? So I'll wear it at the game.
All right, Nick.
Yeah, so I think that the white jersey is the only thing that saves this from being a pretty clear-cut case for C tier. I think that if you don't look at the white jersey, the other two are certainly nothing special.
Yeah.
They're plain. They have a lot of these little design aspects that we don't like. They have the swoopy point on the jersey. They have the little stripe down the middle of the helmet that Ben earlier said that he didn't like. Not gonna let you forget that, Ben. So I kind of think C tier. If you two want to vote it up to B,
we put your Ravens in C, so it's only fair.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that it's a pretty easy comparison between the two. That there's not a whole lot, objectively speaking, different between them. I mean, they both have the diametrically opposed color combinations. It's the purple and the gold or the yellow for the Ravens, and then the orange and the blue here for the Broncos. But a lot of the little things are and probably not the nicest jerseys using those lesser used color combos. Like, I think the Vikings jersey is better than the Ravens jersey, and I think that the Browns use the orange better than the Bears. Yeah, certainly use this better. And then as a more overt use of the orange, the Browns are, I think, a tier above as well.
I say C plus, high C.
I think this is a high C.
Now, when they wear the all blues, I do like those.
Yeah,
we're not considering like every single
I know
alternate.
I know.
If we wanted to do every jersey combination of like pants, helmet, jersey, socks, cleats that has ever been worn in the NFL, we would never finish.
True.
So next up, we have the Detroit Lions. Another
Detroit Lions,
kind of
very classic,
classic
yes.
jersey. Yeah,
Very, very classic. I mean, I don't think these have changed since inception. I can't imagine what changes they would have made even if they did.
They just added the logo because they wear those
Right.
super throwbacks on Thanksgiving sometimes, and it's just like without the stripe and without the
Yes.
logo, but that's it, really.
So they've added these gray ones, and they also have put the word Lions on the shoulders. Both of these are marks in the negative for me. They are similar to the Dallas Cowboys in that it is a silver-blue combination, but this blue is less successful to me. These jerseys, these feel really cold to me. It feels like a chilly day, which maybe makes sense for Detroit. It just also seems gloomy.
it is very Detroit.
It feels, but like in the worst way. Like it just feels like beat down and cold. So, that being said, it is extremely classic. It's like it probably will never change. But I am dinging them for the Lions on the shoulder blades. To me, this is a B level.
I go with B.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's a basic B.
I agree. I think that A really feels too high. I think that C really feels too low. It's just got to be a B. I think it's probably going to end up being one of the quintessential kind of defining B tier
sure.
jerseys.
Yeah, for sure.
Next up, we have another classic in the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. This is about as classic as it gets. All the same telltale elements coming together here that you see on all of these super classic designs. The three stripes on the pants, the three stripes on the shoulders. Not a lot going on. Nothing extraneous going on. Like it's just color blocked in such a way that it's iconic. It is recognizable. It is forever more associated with Green Bay. I mean, it just looks exactly like the Green Bay Packers. They're never going to change it, and if they do, they should be committed. This is super duper classic, and for that reason, this is an A tier for me.
I agree. I think in the same way that the Lions were or are going to be when we go back and do comparisons, kind of the defining B tier jersey. This really feels like the defining A tier jersey. Is anybody going to put this at the top of the list? I kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
But is anybody going to rank it lower than 4th or 5th if you were to put all 32 in order? Also, probably no.
Yeah, that I really like that Kelly green color. Like when the people wear Packers jerseys, that green jersey with the yellow stripes. I mean, it just looks good.
It pops.
Yeah, and it's a combo that nobody else does really.
Mm-mm.
And they do it well. Like there's some teams who have unique things that they maybe do better or worse than other teams, and this is certainly one of them that I think is better executed as far as it being kind of their city thing. And it's the only team in the city too.
Yeah.
right? So it makes sense that like this is Green Bay. It's green.
Wait, did you guys say A or S?
Oh, oops! I accidentally put that in S. That was a misdrop. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, A tier. Larry says he doesn't like the one on the right.
The all white one?
I think the one on the right.
I think that.
I think. Yeah, I think with just the white pants, that's the Color Rush jersey.
That's funny how they're like, oh, we have to do a color rush. Fine.
Yeah, Larry, I'm curious. How old are you? I have absolutely no idea. I know you have several kids, so you can't be, or you probably are not as old as Ben and
You
I.
never know, man.
Yeah, he's like got a wife and kids, so I don't know. But I feel like the Color Rush is definitely an appeal to the younger crowd.
Yeah, I have a hard time taking any of these Color Rush jerseys into consideration. Like they're going to change all the time, and they're like not really part of the set. They're just made them up for, Thursday night football, which everybody hates.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I maybe this is just me being young. I don't hate them. I think that there's some of them that look really nice, but there's more of them that are kind of like obviously gimmicky than
That's what I mean.
look nice.
I don't. Not everybody hates the jersey. Everyone hates Thursday night football. Some of the jerseys are nice, but also like they're not. They were forced. So it's tough for me to like really reward or ding any of these franchises for that Color Rush.
That's fair. So next up, we have the Houston Texans.
Houston Texans. Let's take a look here.
I actually like their red and blue combo, but I know that's like their alternate. These are just, for me, very basic, but maybe not in the best way. But I don't know. I'm thinking like C plus B minus. Eric.
Yeah, they're all right. Like they really attempted to harness that classic NFL look. They've not really gone for anything over the top. It's tough because this is a team that still feels so new. So it's like you're kind of put in a strange place where you know that it's new, even though it looks old, which should be good, but. Also, like the name, the Texans, is so obnoxious. Like it's just like such an obnoxious name.
Yeah, like what if other teams took after the same
Coloradans,
naming trend? Yeah, the Denver Coloradans,
It's so annoying.
the Baltimore Marylanders.
Yeah, it's like such an obnoxious idea just to be like so proud to be a Texan that we're the
Yeah.
Houston Texans.
It's like the Maryland equivalent of throwing the state flag on it.
Yeah, totally. So that's tough to sort of get over. Although we probably shouldn't take that into consideration. But the logo is actually like pretty good, I think, in that it really looks like the Houston Texans. Like it looks. It's got the star for the eye. It's a big steer. It's very Texas-like. I think I would probably put this in the B tier.
Yeah, I was thinking pretty solid B as well. I mean, the red, white, and blue is a really tried and tested color combo.
Yeah, they really went for all of it
across different sports. But yeah, it does feel just slightly out of place. The classic color combo, the classic kind of no frills attached uniform on the newest team in the league.
Yeah,
It feels a little contradictory. So I think B. So next up we have the Indianapolis Colts.
Speaking of classic,
yeah.
going back a few.
Yeah, this is again like as classic as classic gets.
Yeah, this reminds me of just like we're never gonna change. And
Never.
we know it, and we're gonna keep it this way.
Yeah, but they did change, right?
Slightly.
They completely skipped town.
Oh,
Oh, right. In the same.
Other than that, though,
But aside from that,
aside from that, yeah, I would give this like a. This seems like a B to me. Personally, I don't know if I can give it an A just because their secondary color is white.
it doesn't seem all that indistinguishable from the Detroit Lions jersey from a design perspective. And I mean, my eye is not as well trained as Eric's, but that's the vibe that I get here. I mean, it's two uniforms in the same white, because I don't think any NFL teams use like a slightly off white or whatever.
Well, they do. Well, we'll talk about it when we get to it.
Well, never mind. Or very few of them do, at least. Most of them are white. Just a slightly different shade of blue. I think the Colts blue looks a little nicer than the Lions blue. But again, it's not Bears level, not Cowboys level, not Packers level classic jersey.
Yeah, it's very stark. There's very clear contrast going on here. Just two colors, royal blue and white. It leaves you a little cold. It's fine. There's not a ton to really argue with, but it is like I don't love it. Like for whatever reason, the color combination just like doesn't feel that inviting. But again, like you can't really ding it, because again, it has absolutely stood the test of time. It will continue to stand the test of time. They'll never change these. This is going to be Johnny Unitas, and it also, Peyton Manning's son when he Marshall when he starts playing will look exactly like this. So for that reason, this is B for me. This is a B.
Yeah, I don't see any arguments coming for this being anywhere other than B. And also, yeah, T. Cherry says poor Colts, Wentz and Nelson down. Yeah, not a good week to be a Colts fan. Just in general. Ben, we were doing our MVP bets tier list last week, and you were trying to argue Carson Wentz for a much higher tier.
Well,
And I was like, no, there's injury issues. Of course, this is a completely unrelated injury to anything else. I don't think anybody knew that this was a thing. But Carson Wentz just proving...
didn't know his injury concerns headed into the season, so...
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, well.
Yeah, Colts are going to be pretty rough, at least at the start. I think Nelson had the exact same injury as Wentz. It wasn't just that he got hurt. It was actually like the same bone in his foot that requires the same surgery. Which is a really strange...
What Broncos fans had to deal with last year. Like, Miller's out, Sutton's out. Play ball.
Speaking of playing ball, I think that's just about the best thing that we can say that the Jaguars have done recently.
Oh boy.
But what about their uniforms?
Oh my God. This is strictly burn it status. We don't even have the helmets with the gradated gold to black, right? Like, which is the single most egregious, terrible thing I've ever seen attempted on.
Do they still wear those? Because they did a redesign a year or two ago.
All I can think of is Blake Bortles wearing those, and I was like,
so rough.
I think so. So I know they had what were pretty widely regarded as the worst uniforms in the league, and I think it was either going into the 2018 or 2019 season did full redesign. So I don't know that they still have those gold helmets and the mostly gold jerseys. I think that those are all. I think those are all a thing of the past.
Yeah, all the same, teal and black, like yuck. It's just there's just nothing going on. Like I just hate everything about it. There's just nothing I like.
If you look at the green jerseys, it's almost like you could just throw on any color jersey, and then that would be their team's uniform. Like there's no complementary
Brutal.
alignment whatsoever.
So brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are straight burn it status for me.
So the Nike upgrade update was a failure.
Well, it's just I think that just the concept of this team is a failure. Like, they've just got like I think maybe the Nike guys have done. I mean, I'm looking at a different image than the one that you sent me. I'm looking at one I think that is more updated, where they have their black jerseys with white block letters, which look fine. The logo, I know that they cleaned up a little bit, and yada yada yada. All the same, just a terrible concept to begin with. I don't know why is a team called the Jacksonville Jaguars? Why is teal and black? Why are those the colors? Like that thematically, I have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, and what is the uniting factor between the two jerseys that we have in the Burn It tier? Or the two teams as a whole that we have in the Burn It tier? I mean, they're two southeastern teams.
Yep, and
that are named after cats.
Yep.
That for whatever reason, chose to use teal in their uniform.
Well, to be fair to Carolina, they've got more of a powder baby blue than a teal. Teal has more green in it. All the same, terrible color combination. Too soft. Not great for an NFL franchise. There's some sort of southern aesthetic coming into play where they're just trying to make things tropical feeling or something, and it just is like it just does not work for me at all.
Totally agree.
I'm fine with the Burn It.
So next up we have the Kansas City Chiefs.
This is another time when you have to sort of like take your personal feelings about a franchise, about maybe some of the way that they've conducted business, the free agents they choose to sign, the
quarterbacks they choose to draft.
You sort of have to just like drop all of that, and we're just looking just strictly at the uniform, which is, again, a very, very classic. The Kansas City Chiefs have a very classic look, the red and the yellow with the white. It's definitely going to stand the test of time. Is it racist? Maybe it's racist. We have to maybe drop that from our considerations as well. Like this just feels like it's going to be around forever until they're forced to change it for being racist. But right now, things look good for the Kansas City Chiefs. Like this is hard to really argue with as much as I want to. But again, those are personal feelings coming into something that needs to be objective and aesthetically based. So, like I would give these, I would sadly give these an A, as much as it hurts me to say those words.
I was actually thinking a B here, personally. And again, it feels like a reskin of like the Colts jersey or the Lions jersey. It feels like a even just among the classics. I don't think it's an A tier classic. I think it's a B tier classic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just to me this looks like the AFC. Like I'm
like a B plus A minus.
Yeah, I think it's better than the other classics that are in the B tier. I think it's better than the Lions, and I think it's better than the Colts. But I don't think it's. I mean, personally, at least, I don't feel like it's on the same tier as the Bears and the Packers and the Cowboys. So I guess which group do you guys think it belongs with?
I mean, I think it's with the A's. I really do. I think it's low, but I think it's with the A's.
We can also, let's do A. And I was just gonna say the logo. I think gives a good pop too on the helmet.
It is a great logo.
It is a great logo. Yeah, Larry says thinking B. I was thinking B also, but I'll get outvoted here. That's okay.
I'm very curious Eric's opinion on the Chargers.
Yeah, so Chargers is what's coming up next. Chargers have one of the more noteworthy redesigns of the Nike era.
Yes.
I
So,
love these.
People really do like these. People like these quite a bit. It's funny because we really railed hard the Carolina Panthers for using powder blue. But people really love the powder blue when it comes to Southern California. It's like a very Southern California sort of color combination. It feels like UCLA. It feels like,
And I
sunshine
think
and ocean.
that yellow makes it pop. Right? Just this powder blue with white and black and nothing else. The powder blue kind of just sticks out. But the powder blue, even though it's there, it's not even the first color that I see.
You see
I
the
think
yellow first.
I see the yellow. I think the yellow is the one that pops.
Yeah, I mean, it really does on the pants for sure. To me, like, they redesigned their helmet to feel a lot more historic. They put the number on the side of the helmet along with the bolt. To me, it's like too much going on there. It's a little crowded for my taste. People really like this though, like a lot more than I do. I feel like okay, fine with it. Like I don't love like sending my gladiators, my modern day gladiators, into battle dressed in a color that's intended for a baby blue, for a little baby boy. Like
Philip Rivers did play there for many years, so
yeah. So so I don't love this. I know that people do love it though, so I feel like this is going to be one that's a little divisive as far as I'm concerned. Like I would give this probably a B, but I know that a lot of people have this A or higher for sure.
Ben, what's your take?
I love these. I mean, the number for me, I guess it does make sense. It does look a little crowded. Like, I think they could have gone without that, but I think overall, just like the baby blue with the white pants, I think looks so clean. I can make a case for S for this one, but I think A for sure for me.
Yeah, I kind of also want to throw this into the S tier.
I mean, I know people love this. I'm not one of them.
Now that you pointed out the number on the helmet, I definitely think I don't like that. I had never noticed that before, just watching them on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I think the helmet would look better without the number. But I think neck down, for sure. These are my favorite in the league.
I'm fine with A. We don't have to go S.
We'll put them in A for now. We have to throw somebody in S at some point.
It's true.
I don't know if you guys have like a team coming up in mind that you'd rather throw into S.
I haven't really thought this through. I'm just sort of reacting as they come up. I haven't really thought about like what I would put in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this one is this is going to be one that I think takes a lot more revision compared to some of the other stuff that we've done.
Yeah, it's more technical.
But I will acquiesce to throwing the Los Angeles Chargers into the A tier. So next up we have the other LA team who sort of tried to do this same thing as the Chargers when they did their redesign and
Eric, what
didn't
happened?
do
they were like wearing
quite as good of a job.
It was like a different shade from their uniforms. I don't know if
So,
you remember that.
Yes.
It was all over Twitter.
Yeah, they made a real mess of things. They had different color blue on the helmet, on the I mean, this is what happens when you move all over the place. You change the LA Rams
scheme.
There was also something with like the lines not lining up correctly on stuff.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
So this is the team that uses the off-white. They have they have their third jersey, which they refer to as bone. It is bone colored, not white. This is absolutely a jersey and a uniform that is going to without question be trapped in the moment. This feels absolutely like it is designed for Madden, for some sort of video game. Like they've got the gradient on the numbers, which I just absolutely can't stand. They've got a lot of like newfangled like design elements that you would find on like an off-white Nike shoe, like just like raw elements and like leaving like there's a patch on the top that says like the Los Angeles Rams, and they've got like stitching around it that you can see. There are some like interesting concepts that they are using here, and there are some things that for sure are not terrible to look at, but I just feel like the designers on these just like really didn't quite understand the assignment per se. Like they're making again, like these would be like great arena football jerseys, or like something like European.
Yeah, or like your rec league flag football team. You have the nicest jerseys in the league, hands down.
No question. So I hate the logo that they did, the actual Ram, but those aren't featured on the on these jerseys, so I can't appropriately ding them for that here. But I'm going to put these in the C category, potentially the D category. I mean, they're not like terrible to look at, but also they're not terrible to look at when you're looking at them here on a computer screen. When I saw them on the field, they're too bright, they're shiny in a weird way that I really just did not appreciate, and I just feel like they fumbled the bag. So I'm giving them a C.
I'll go with C too.
Yeah.
The only reason why I'm not burning them is because I do like the helmet jersey match with the little ram horn on the side. I think it kind of has a nice look, but they're borderline burn it for me.
Yeah, I think these are also borderline burn it.
Yeah, maybe we do have a D?
No, we don't have a D. We have S, we have A, B, C, and burn it.
Okay, so C then, yeah.
C's get degrees, everything else gets burned. So
I think they just barely got a degree. I don't know, because I do like the revision they made to the Ram horn. It's kind of cool. Like it's just like an interesting update, and I do like the foundation of like I just like these types of helmets that are Ram based that have horns on the side. I mean, it's just kind of a cool classic design that they've updated.
I agree. I think the helmets in and of themselves are quite nice.
Yeah.
All gradients on jerseys never work.
Terrible. No, terrible.
You look at some of like the worst hockey jerseys of all time.
Terrible.
You get like the Penguins gradient, the Canucks gradient jerseys. They're awful. They don't work. So next up, we have another classic, the silver and gold. Not silver and gold, silver and black. Why did I say gold?
I don't know.
I don't know why I said gold. That's a different team and a different sport.
The Golden Knights. That's what you.
I don't even know like what team has that color combo at all. I don't know. We have the silver and black.
Yes.
The Las Vegas Raiders. Also, it doesn't really make much sense. Just thinking about this now, this just popped into my head. But having a team called the Raiders, which is like a seafaring thing, right? You go out onto a boat in a raiding party. It's like a Viking. But they're inland. They're not on the coast anymore. They're in the desert. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But that's besides the point.
We could do that with a lot of teams if we got very literal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the Los Angeles Lakers. There's no lakes in LA.
No lakes. Nary a lake.
But regardless of that, these are quite nice.
Kids. Yeah, this is his class. This is like another one that's like I actually hate rating this because I just when I look at this I just like feel physically ill because I can't stand the Raiders, what they stand for, their history, their players,
rating it.
Yeah, I just have to be objective here, and these are probably the closest to S tier that we've gotten for me. They may need to go into the S tiers. As I can't personally be on record saying that, but that's what I think.
I think I agree. I think that this can go into the S tier. I like the fact, and also it feels so, like, it almost makes a little bit more sense after they moved to Vegas that it just fits so well. Of course, it was classic in Oakland, but it just feels right having a silver logo, and it's like a silver jersey in Vegas. It's like so, it feels like extra over the top type of deal, but it's in such a tasteful way that they've done it.
Yeah,
it feels so Vegas.
Yeah, there's not a lot of extraneous detail. They did a good job, and it'll never change. It's a good one.
Yeah.
And the team's not going to win anytime soon. That's okay.
Okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm. They are certainly not an S tier team. Full stop.
Yeah, uniforms only.
Uniforms only. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins, another team that utilizes a color in this lighter blue into teal type spectrum. But I think that this is the best by far utilization of that color of the three teams that use it.
Yep, this is another southern team. This is another tropical feeling team. They updated their logo a few years ago to make a tougher looking dolphin, which is a hilarious concept. But
This dolphin will beat you up.
I know, right? It's an aqua teal color with orange, which again feels very much like Miami. It feels like appropriate for the region that they play in. And it also is very historic. I mean, there's not a lot of the problem with the other ones that have like the tropical color scheme is that they've done so many other things wrong that you're left looking at that as just another issue. These are just the same sort of simple, like stripes on the shoulders, stripes on the pants, two colors, block numbers. Classic stuff. This is probably a B for me.
I can get down with that.
I totally agree as well.
Yeah, I think they're classic, but I like that they brought in more of the modern color, a little more vibrant, but they didn't take away from the classic feel because the helmets look pretty normal, I would say. And yeah, I'm down with the B.
Yeah, I love the orange accent on this color. I think that's what makes it work.
Yeah.
I think having that other thing is really what puts it. I mean, it's certainly not an A tier jersey, but it's also certainly better than the other Southern teams that it's competing against in its color class.
Yep. No question.
And it almost I would say that that orange accent on the second bright color in that blue feels a little bit more modern than it actually is, right? Because it's a classic combo that goes back a long ways.
These are probably complementary. These two tones, like this is if you slide down the color wheel, you get a little bit off of that standard blue to add a little bit of green into it, and then you have the orange on the other side that goes a little bit more towards the red. So they probably are complementary colors that way.
Yeah, I think they look really nice. So speaking of complementary colors, next up we have another team that takes advantage of them in the Minnesota Vikings.
Right.
So earlier we had my Baltimore Ravens. Same color combo. Jerseys. I think Minnesota does a much better job with the yellow and the purple.
No question. These are one of my favorite helmets in the entire NFL. Like they're just like a cool concept. It's a good shade of purple. It's been around forever. It looks like they've done a little bit too much on some, maybe the white versions. It looks like the stripes around the shoulder are a little thicker. There's a little.
It also looks worse when it's a quarterback too sometimes.
Yeah.
But that is part of it. So
yeah, these are I really do like the helmets quite a bit. it doesn't fully carry through for me. This is either low A or high B for me.
I would go with A. I think they're one of only 2, maybe 3 teams that has that like matte look color for their helmets, and I think it works really well. So
Yeah.
I'm down with an A.
Yeah, I'm cool with an A also. I think it's definitely one of the lower tier A's. Yeah, our A tier is actually getting quite crowded right now, so we might have to relegate a couple teams down to B.
Fair enough.
And they're a candidate, I would say, but I don't think that they're necessarily out of place in A. The next team that we have is the New England Patriots. Another red, white, and blue team. Although I think one that makes a little bit more sense than the Houston Texans.
Right. So I absolutely hate this logo. Like, this logo to me is terrible. The Patriot Pat or whatever they call it, this like weird faceless, like
it's pretty
metal
hideous.
face guy. It's terrible. This like overly saturated version of these colors that they have on their jerseys now, I think is a lot better than it has ever been previously. Like, I like that dark shade of navy blue with the sort of like the darker, more saturated red. The silver. I mean, I hate the logo so much. And obviously there's so many associations with this team that like make me hate it even more. But just for the helmet and the logo, I think that this is like B to C for me.
I'm going C. I actually like their old jerseys better. I don't know. I don't know about the classic look. I think they're just trying too hard to fit into a classic look, if that makes sense. I don't know. Something's off.
Yeah, they've put the stripes on the top of the shoulder pads instead of on the side, but just like a little, they've made it a little bigger.
Right. Which is like 1980s-esque. Like,
yeah.
A lot of the college uniforms have that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm cool with throwing them into a C.
Yeah.
Larry says, I think, like most of their recent moves, I don't like it.
Fair.
That is fair. I don't like anything the Patriots have done in like my lifetime.
Right.
But that's a different story. So next up we have the New Orleans Saints.
Let's see. So the New Orleans Saints, black and gold, very classic color combination. The newest incarnation of these, I think, are pretty nice. Like, they've got. Let me find the photo here just so I can know what I'm talking about. Are they not on this? Here they are. So, like, the newest incarnation, where they have like this gold that has like more almost green in it, like it's a stronger and maybe these are the Color Rush ones that I'm looking at. I think are like pretty nice. I like how they look on television. Like, I don't know, they don't have any really stripes or anything. They're very basic, these jerseys. I mean, you get the fleur-de-lis, very classic, very simple, in the same sort of mold as the Dallas Cowboys that way. But then, you have the color of the collar on the jerseys, but no real other details outside of just that fleur-de-lis patch again. No real stripes, especially on these black ones. So, they're like super duper classic, but they are a little bit boring. So I think I would probably put these into the B also.
B for me. Yeah, you said it. Just pretty classic. The color scheme works nicely, but nothing to bump them to an A. And I do like the all white Color Rushes, but I'm not going to give those too much credit. But yeah, I mean, it's actually funny the gold almost doesn't match their helmets.
Right. It doesn't.
Color rush.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's kind of funny, but I do like how it looks though. Like at least that color gold. But yeah, I'm cool with a B.
Yeah, I was personally thinking more like an A for these. I don't really know exactly why. It's just like there's nothing about them that I don't like. And I think with a lot of the other jerseys, there's been something that you can point at that's like, I don't like that. I wish they did that differently. There's nothing that makes me go like, oh, that was a great choice.
Right.
But there's nothing that makes me go like, I wish they did that differently, or I wish they did something more or something else.
To me, that sounds like an argument to go into the B status, right? Like A seems like they did something right.
I suppose.
I think B.
I also just love this gold. It's unique. I like the way that it pops.
Yeah, that's fair.
But okay, I'm on board with the B. I won't argue against it that much. So next up we have the New York Football Giants.
Another red,
take
white, and blue.
on the red, white, and blue. Yep.
Another red, white, and blue.
White and blue themes than I really.
Yeah, the G-Men. Again, this is another like super duper classic. That the NY logo on the side is and which is funny because it used to fully say Giants, but this is a big improvement from my money. The NY.
Yeah. Well, I think they still use that Giants helmet in the picture that we have up on the stream right now. The one on the left has that full Giants helmet. So I think that they still use that.
Color Rush, maybe.
Yeah. That probably is Color Rush.
Yeah, the throwback. Yeah, when they have the blue helmet, the blue jersey, the white pants with the stripes, maybe one too many stripes for me on the side of the pants. To me, this is a great looking jersey. The white one is a little bit much with the. I don't really like it with the red stripes. So this is probably another B for me.
Yeah, I think this feels like another quintessential B tier jersey.
Yeah, B for me.
Larry, as a big Giants fan, what do you think?
He's probably thinking S.
He's probably thinking, Nick, I'm a Cowboys fan. Don't throw me in with that trash. But while Larry's brooding, let's move on to the other New York team, the New York Jets.
Oh, so oh my God, this is the redux that they did last year that everybody absolutely hated.
Yep.
So, yeah, they took something that was like very classic and they just they video gamed it up.
No, it's because they haven't been relevant as an actual team in such a long time.
Right, like they made that like really futuristic looking helmet, like that super duper shiny green that nobody likes, and they just did too much. This is just they got very extra with their jerseys, which nobody liked. So, like to me, it's like I can't quite put it in burn it, but it's close to burn it.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit better than the Rams jersey, which for me is that one that's right on the border of C and burn it. So I feel like this belongs right in the C tier. I don't think I'd burn it. I think that there's other things that I'd burn before it, namely the Rams that aren't in the burn it tier. But it's not in contention at all for a B, in my opinion.
Yeah, low C for me. I could make a case for burn it, but low C for me.
Agreed. So we are coming down to the wire. It looks like we have 7 jerseys left. We've been going for a long time. We've been at this for like an hour and a half at this point. Doesn't feel like it, but it has been.
I feel like I'm in school. Like this is like a class assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
We got the Philadelphia Eagles
The
up
big
next.
stripe.
Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles have one of the best helmets in the NFL. They get a little bit. They do a little bit too much moving down though. Like the eagle on the shoulder, the stripes on the pants are like a little too thick for me. There's like a little too much going on. I don't love the black version of the jerseys. Like to me, again, it just feels like anybody could have a black jersey if they wanted to, even though I do realize that is part of their color scheme. But just looking at the classic Kelly green and the white with the green pants, I do like those. I would probably put this in the A tier.
I'm A minus B plus range.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at
good
also.
with A though, Nick. I mean,
Yeah, I'd be happy to throw this in the A tier.
the eagle wings are just.
I think if you do direct comparison to some of the other ones that we have in the B tier, I think that it definitely outclasses them. That might be because that some of the things that we have in the B tier belong in the C tier instead. And I do think that this holds up with a couple of the things that we have in A. So I think low A is appropriate. High B would also be appropriate. But we can put it in the A tier. So next up we have the Pittsburgh Steelers, the black and the gold.
Yes.
So I will say this as a Ravens fan, I love what the whole city of Pittsburgh does.
Yep.
Just with the black and the gold, it
black
works
and
so
yellow.
well.
Black and yellow,
Yes,
black and
it's
yellow.
so simple.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, all the bars can be like themed in that color.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in Pittsburgh for 3 years.
Yeah.
It's a good city, and again, I say this as a fan of multiple teams with mortal rivalries with their Pittsburgh counterparts. Pittsburgh's a cool town. It's a good sports town, and the uniforms and the color schemes of all of the teams look quite nice.
Yeah, they have a real identity. I'm always jealous of that. Like the Denver teams are so all over the place. It's really difficult.
I think Pittsburgh is the only one
Yeah,
that has
probably
this.
so. Yeah, probably
Nebraska,
so.
though.
Yeah, and Nebraska.
Oh yeah, let me look up all the professional sports teams in Nebraska.
Well, they have one big college team, and I guess Creighton. Never mind. That was a stretch.
Well, I mean, if you want to go to college, then it's different, right? Like you could just look at a state that only has one college.
Wyoming.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Wyoming
Wyoming
has
has
the
a
worst color
very
scheme of all
consistent
time.
color scheme.
Which has the worst color scheme of all time. So this is an S tier for me. This is
yeah.
this is the NFL. Just looks like the NFL.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I'll go S. And I actually like how they have the logo only on one side. I think it just makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, it's like a patch that you're wearing.
Yeah,
It's like a mark of pride.
Yeah.
I think it works so well.
Yeah.
So no argument there. Pittsburgh Steelers, easy. S tier jersey. Next up, we have what is probably the single most controversial team jersey-wise in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks.
Yes, this is very controversial. This is like this identity in this jersey set has like Nike fingerprints all over it. It feels like the University of Oregon, like where they just kind of go all over the place. I really like the helmets, and I really like that they kept some of like the tribal elements from the native influences that are all up and down that part of the country. They definitely do way too much on these, for sure. The colors are I really do like the blue that they use, and I do like the pops of that electric green that are used when it's used sparingly. But it is like, I mean, this is like super New Jack bullshit that is definitely going to fall by the wayside and will be rebranded at a certain point. So it's hard for me to give it like a really top tier grade for that reason, even though I do like the aesthetics of this jersey. But it, again, for me, it's doing too much. So I'm going to put it in B range, just because I know they're going to redo it.
Yeah, BA for me.
They do look good though, like on this, like
just like in the here and now, they're so good.
And it just feels Seattle-esque.
Yeah, and I like the fact now that the Seattle Kraken, the new NHL team in Seattle, has come along, and they didn't take a lime green, but they did go with that, like the seafoam blue.
Yeah.
That is also a kind of poppy, unique color that nobody else uses, and it does really make this color pop style feel like a very Pacific Northwest identity thing, and I think it holds up better as an identity than say that teal does, which is in a similar vein conceptually. I would think down in the Southeast.
Yeah, you do have to be like, you have to take into consideration like all of the parts of the team the team that you're designing for. I mean, the fact that this color is like super saturated, it feels like it's been rained on. It's like a blue that feels like dark and kind of heavy.
It's glowing in the dark.
Yeah, and then but there's just too many like little things that they do all over. It's just that Nike thing. They just put too many things all over.
Yeah, like
it,
the pants have a different type of stripe than the top.
Yeah, and it's just like there's like a pattern in the numbers that feels like tape or whatever. It's like, come on, guys. It's like,
I'll go with B.
Yeah, I think it's a B. I think this is one that if for God knows what reason we did this again in 20 years and they still had the same thing and it was entering that classic phase, could easily bump up to an A or S tier, just because but it probably won't. Exactly. And that uncertainty, like, is it just a living in the moment thing?
For sure.
So we're going to throw Seattle in the B tier. 4 teams left, by the way.
We're somewhat on the same page there, because I feel like that could have been one that was all over the place.
Yeah, I feel like the B is as low as I'd go, but for me, almost I would say that one, because of how controversial it was, it kind of has to go in B, right? That's just the neutral category.
Totally.
Also, Eric, this is going to go on Twitter too, so we got to be ready
sure.
for.
We got to be ready.
But we say, hey, we made our points, and we're very thorough. So
yeah, I mean, we have what's going to come out to like 4 minutes per team on average of discussing.
I'm not scared. Come at me. Come at me, bro.
So 4 teams left. We have San Francisco, Tampa Bay, Tennessee, and Washington. First among them is the San Francisco 49ers.
Red and gold and white, very classic. To me, these are handsome. This is a handsome jersey.
Well, that's because Jimmy Garoppolo's on.
Because he's so very handsome. You're right. Maybe I'm being swayed by that. Joe Montana, also very handsome. Steve Young, also very. Nothing but handsome quarterbacks out there. So these are A tier for me for sure.
Yeah, I could make a case for S.
I could too.
Just because the home red, man, those are nice. But the only weird thing is like the stripes are a little different, but I guess it kind of works though, because it does feel a little more modern. Just having a regular 2-stripe, not the classic 3-stripe look that a lot of these other teams have. I can make a case for S, but I'm fine with A.
So if we're thinking S, does it belong with Vegas and Pittsburgh, or should it potentially even knock one of them down? So that's the discussion that needs to happen about potentially putting this.
I just think it belongs with them. Those 3. I think that.
I will not argue. I think San Francisco can easily go into the S tier. Next up, we have Tampa Bay, defending Super Bowl champions, clearly an S tier football team. How do the jerseys compared to the rest of the on-field product?
So this is another metal being used. There's this called pewter. That it's sort of that bronzy color. To me, they made their logo way too big on the side of their helmets. It bothers me.
Yeah, what's going?
They fly in their flag loud and proud.
Like, enlarged, and then they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, whatever."
Enlarged 2 dimensions.
Yeah, we're out of time. We have to submit these.
Yeah. To me, it's like a little cartoonish, and so I put it. I like the colors. I think that it's unique. But I don't love the whole presentation. I give this is BC range for me.
Yeah, I was thinking B. I just also if we're comparing it just metal wise, the pewter feels inferior to silver and gold.
Like a bronze metal.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's third place. It's got to go in the third tier on the list, B tier.
I go with B. Yeah, because I do like the red with it. I think it works, but yeah, the helmets. Yeah, I've thought that a few times where I'm like, why are they so big?
It's enormous.
They're like, we won the Super Bowl. And I'm like, I hope the Bucks fans don't turn cocky like the Patriot fans.
Well, I mean, they've only been Bucks fans for like a year, so they won't care for long. So next up,
true colors.
we have the Tennessee Titans, the last of the red, white, and blue teams. Certainly
Right.
not as much of the red, but it's still in there.
I put this in the burn it stage. I hate these. There's really not much I like about these.
That's fun. I like how you were very intentful with that.
Yeah,
I would say
no
C.
corners cut.
I would say C, but I think they are trying pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm happy to burn these. It's either that or C.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
They're low regardless.
There's nothing
What are they doing?
nice or good about them.
What are they trying to do with the blue jersey? Like, the stripe just goes down halfway and it just stops.
It's like an armpit stain.
Yeah. Very
It's like they ran
strange.
out of fabric and they're like, well,
Yeah, very strange.
yeah, I'm actually fine with the burn it. I never realized how bad these actually were.
No, neither did I until I was like, okay, got to rank everything. Oh yeah, no, there's nothing good there.
Yeah. They're just too many.
I've designed better uniforms in NCAA football before, so put it that way.
So last and maybe least, probably not least. Maybe least in some other regards. If we're ranking teams just based on their nickname, this is both last and least. But we're not. We're ranking them based on their jerseys.
Goal not to screw it up this year.
Could we make
So
a?
we were definitely, go for 100.
I'm pretty sure I said San Diego Chargers earlier in this stream.
I think I said Oakland Raiders.
So yeah, we gotta figure that out. But we have the Washington football team uniforms. So definitely changed them up. The biggest change, obviously, is there is no more Redskin on the helmet. There's just a W now. But
They just have their number, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, I think that this picture that I found, which was the only thing that I could find with like a proper side by side, this isn't even what they ended up going with. So I think it is actually just the number on the side.
Yeah, I've got a photo up. It's like
I think you're right.
You have yellow face masks, sort of this like blood red. That they've kept the same basic color scheme: the yellow, the red, and the white. And actually, I think that the uniforms they trotted out last year looked great. Like I would like that they were so much better than they had been in years past. They made them, they really cleaned them up. They have really classic elements, but they feel modern. So despite the name and like all of the acrimony that goes along with that, like I think these really look nice. I would give these an A status for sure.
I agree. I think that burgundy is an iconic color for the Redskins, which feels weird because it's so similar to a lot of the other reds that other teams use. But it's I don't think anybody else actually uses that burgundy.
Yeah,
It just feels like such a classic Redskins. It feels football.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with an A. I like them, and the number is cool too. On the side, classic.
All right, so is it time to go and revise? So as it stands right now, in the S tier, we have 3 teams: the Las Vegas Raiders, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the San Francisco 49ers. In the A tier, we have Buffalo, Chicago, Cleveland, Dallas, Green Bay, Kansas City, Los Angeles Chargers, Minnesota, Philadelphia, and Washington. In the B tier, we have Atlanta, Cincinnati, Detroit, Houston, Indianapolis, Miami, New Orleans, New York Giants, Seattle, and Tampa. In the C tier, Denver, Arizona, Baltimore, Los Angeles Rams, New England, and New York Jets. And into the Burn It tier, we have Carolina, Jacksonville, and Tennessee. That was a lot.
That feels right to me. As you were reading this off, I didn't hear any I felt like needed to be moved.
I'm trying to see. So the A, the S. I'm just trying to see if there's anything. But the Packers is one that I could see jumping to S. But
Yeah, so my thing, sorry to interject with this, is that if just nice classic uniform is the only criteria for S tier, then the S tier is going to have like 6, 7, 8 jerseys, and you can't have an S, like that's not an S tier, right? That's the A tier if it's got that many jerseys in it, just on the same criteria. If there's that many things that don't differentiate themselves from each other, just nice classic clean things, that's A, that's not S. So, like, what do they do that's even better than the other ones? That's what puts a jersey up in S.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah, I'm comfortable with our list.
I cut Ben
I
off.
felt pretty good.
I feel bad. I cut Ben off a lot.
No, I that was just the one that I'm like, but I'm fine with an A. It's an A for a reason.
Yeah. So is there anything there that we'd consider moving down? So I think a lot of the classics are pretty set there. And it's pretty much only classics, actually, thinking about it now. You really just have the Chargers redesign as the only non-classic that's there.
Yeah.
But I think that belongs. I think the Chargers is far and away the best
really do
of
like it.
the redesigns. I mean, we could argue it for S just because it's the best modern jersey. But I don't think anybody's going to get upset about it being an A.
Right.
B tier. Again, a lot of teams. We have some of the B tier classics, like the Colts, like the Lions, like the Giants, like the Saints. The Saints are one that I would again consider moving up to A. Not gonna throw a hissy fit about them being in B or anything though. Those Falcons jerseys. So that was the second one that we did. Is that one that we wanna move back down to the C tier? So I'm gonna bring these up real quick. So these again are the Falcons jerseys redesigned for the 2020 season.
I mean, I think they're like fine. They just they made some missteps as far as who they were designing for, that being the NFL, but like they're not terrible looking, and they do look good on the field, which counts for quite a bit in my book.
And I do like the numbers. It's not like too techy, but
Yeah, and it could be argued that it's, they feel like very much like in keeping with the bird theme, like they feel like
I like
talons.
I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say, especially on some of these ones on the front, the hook on that too, on this jerseys looks like a bird claw.
yeah, I'm fine with keeping it.
Okay, I know it was just something that we had talked about at the start that we wanted to go look back on. Wanted to bring it up. In the C tier, I personally have no changes I would make.
Yeah, I'm good.
And then in the burn it tier, I think there's certainly no question there.
No question. They're terrible jerseys. Terrible jerseys.
Broncos is I could make a case for a B on Broncos.
Well, of course you could. And
Well,
I could make a case for B for Ravens.
I just think no other team has that stripe in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
But is that their?
I mean, I love the orange jersey. I really do. I love when people wear it. I like it's just, but I know why I love it. Like,
Yeah. Oh man, when they wear the all blues. I'm fine. If we have it top of the C list, that's fine.
Okay, so that settles it. I was thinking that we were going to come back at the end and be like, no, this one has to go there, and that one's better than that, so it's got to go over here. But no changes.
we were thoughtful in our initial estimations.
We were thorough. We were complete. We were accurate. We understood our theory of design very well.
Yep. We never strayed from our
Also,
initial concepts.
And the NFL kind of made it easy for us in a way. With a lot of classics and a lot of obvious misses on some modern stuff. But still, I, for one, am very happy with how this tier list has ended. And I think that we have consensus among everybody, among Eric, among Ben, among
And of course, everyone
the people in the chat.
100% agree with all these, right?
Yeah, I mean, Twitter is just full of agreeable, rational, kind folks.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to get
Eric loves Twitter.
to get some proverbial digital pats on the back
Let's go. I'm ready.
for how good of a job we did.
Yeah, that did for sure. That is for sure coming. I can't wait for it.
Be like, we had the expert on board, so take a hike, buddy. We can just say, hey, we put the Raiders in S tier, so we were.
Yeah, we were being objective here.
Yeah, I mean, well, and all of the teams that we're fans of are in C tier.
Says quite a bit. Maybe
Yeah,
we were dinging them to try and seem more objective. Who knows? Who knows what our motivations are?
Yeah, who knows what they'll say. But Eric, man, thanks again for joining us.
Of course,
This
yeah,
was
it was fun, guys.
fun. I think we might have to do an NBA jersey one too.
Cool. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
here
mean,
for it.
there's a lot of jerseys out there. So
Yes, there are.
I-
Every
also,
team
I-
has a jersey.
that they have at least two.
There's a lot of mixed opinions on the Nuggets jerseys these days. I tell you what.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are.
I will also say that I think as a sport, the NFL is actually my least favorite of the big four leagues as far as jersey design is concerned.
Yeah, the NHL is the best. They have the big-
NHL is hands down number one.
they treat theirs like they've got the big patch on the front. It's almost like a T-shirt, like very graphic, very interesting.
NBA not bad. Some of their
NBA has the most variance, I would say.
yeah.
There's some super nice NBA jerseys that rival the best anywhere, and there's some of the worst jerseys that have ever existed have come from the NBA.
No question.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to do it again at some point in the future. Thank you once again, Eric, for being here. Thank you to everybody following along. I know Larry's been here for the full 2 hours. So a special thank you to Larry. I know that
Larry's never going to watch an NFL game the same after this.
Yeah, I know Teacher was here most of the time. And I know that we've had a bunch of other people kind of in and out as we're going. But thank you to everybody for being here. And we will catch you next time.
See you guys.